Hello young people of West Torrens, welcome to D&D Creativity. My name's Stuart. In this episode we're going to take the character that we created last episode and put it into D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond is an online resource for Dungeons & Dragons. It's not owned by Dungeons & Dragons, or the people that run that, Wizards of the Coast, but it is closely connected. So, what you're going to need today is the internet, which I think you have because you're watching this, and an email address. Now that could be your email address, or it can be your parents' email address, but either way, make sure your parents know what you're doing. If you didn't create a character in the last episode using the tables, that's fine. You'll probably be able to follow along anyway. So, let's head over there and check it out. Okie dokie, so to get to D&D Beyond, you can just search D&D Beyond. Okay. Now from here, it's usually going to be the first one, but we want to go to the official toolset for Dungeons & Dragons. Alright, now there's a few ways you can sign in here. Okay, we're going to do register. Remember, you need to have an email for this and make sure you got your parents' permission to do this. We're going to create an account. Alright, now you can create an account with Google. If you already have a Gmail account, it works really easy. Okay. And because I've got a heap of different accounts, I'm going to use this one here, D&D Creativity, because that's what we're doing today. And you come up with a name, so I'm going to call myself D&D Creativity. Activity. So this gives us access to Character Builder, Encounter Builder, and Marketplace, and a lot more. All right, we're going to have a little look at that right now. So when you first log in, you'll come to this page. Okay, this is their main page where you'll see all their articles. They post a lot of articles about all sorts of stuff to do with D&D. All right, the things we're going to focus on first is we're going to look at some game rules. All right, we get access for free to the basic rules of D&D. Okay, however, this website will show us stuff that isn't in the basic rules. It's in other books that we need to pay for. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to make sure you can see and use stuff that's only in the basic rules, because I'll show you what happens when you click on something that is not in the basic rules. So we could look here, the Demogorgon, and be like, oh man, that sounds so cool. It's giant, it's large, it's chaotic. And you click on it and you get this, and then it says view purchase options. We don't want to spend any money. We want to do this stuff for free. So what we can do here is we can go down to sources and change it to basic rules, filter monsters. All right, now all of these monsters are things that we can use, we can get the information for free. Okay, for example, we can get an adult black dragon, and it gives us a stat block for that black dragon. We can click on the image here and it'll show us what a black dragon looks like. Black dragons are really cool, by the way. They live in swamps. All right, and it's a lot of stuff, 17 pages worth of monsters for free that we can use with this account. All right, now that works the same when you're looking at spells. Okay, if you click on spells and go to source and change it to basic rules, again, that'll make sure we have access to those things. So as you go through this, if you're getting stuck on things, make sure you're changing it to basic rules. All right, but we want to do character creation. So my characters. This is a character I made before. You get access to 6 character slots for free. Okay, meaning you can make 6 different characters for free, and you can delete the ones that you don't want to continue with. Like I'm going to delete this one here, and it's going to say, are you sure? And I'm going to say yes. Okay, now we're going to create a character. Let's have a look. This loads up and you get 3 different options. Standard, which we're going to go through in a moment. Quick build, which is like super fast. And then randomize. You can just click on this one here and you can say I want a first level character, and I'm going to call him Bob. and it's just going to make us a character completely random, and I can jump straight into it and view the character. Okay. You're welcome to do that if you want. What did I get? I got an Aarakocra druid. Aarakocras are like bird people that have wings and can fly, and he's a druid. Cool. All right. But we don't want to just do that. We want to create a character from scratch. Now, I'm going to use the character that I came up with from our last video. Okay. Now, if you haven't watched the last video, that's fine. You can just play along with what I'm doing and get used to the piece of software that way. If you did use the last video, then that's awesome. I want you to grab the piece of paper that you wrote that stuff down on, and we're going to use some of that now. All right. So this is how it works. We're going to click on standard character. Now there's all these options when we get started. All right. This guy is going to be called in fact, Brandybuck's going to be his last name. He's going to be Bernard Brandybuck, okay, because he's going to be a gnome. Now, you can play, this is all the different content that you can have access to. You're welcome to keep them on. I'm going to turn them off because I don't want them in there. Advancement type, milestone or XP. This is about how you level up. Milestone means that it's a story-based thing, and the Dungeon Master says, now you can level up. Or XP is based on monsters that you kill and quests that you complete. I'm going to stick with that. Hit points are determined in different ways. For this, just keep it fixed. Makes it simple. You can leave those turned on. You can leave on encumbrance if you want, or you can say no encumbrance. It's completely up to you. That's about how much stuff you can carry. For now, that we're just focusing on being creative, so that doesn't really matter right now. And we're just going to click next. All right. Now, sources, I'm going to change that to basic because that's what we used in our tables, okay? You'll notice, though, that when you click on dwarf or elf or gnome, there's some options here, okay? So if you rolled up and got a dwarf, there's 2 different types of dwarves that you can get, okay? And there's 3 different types of elves. So you can just have a look at them and have a bit of a read. They have very slight differences, but not hugely, okay? Now, I'm going to go with a gnome because that's what I rolled, a gnome. Now, before you confirm it, it lets you have a look at the different abilities that the character gets. It gives you an idea of how old they can be. Alignment is kind of defines how the character behaves, but we're not going to worry about alignment just yet, okay? So when you see alignment pop up, don't worry about that. Size talks about how fast they can move. You've got dark vision, meaning you can see in the dark sometimes. Gnome cunning. You have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, charisma, saving throws against magic, which is cool. I speak a language, and I get a constitution increase. Okay, so each race has got all different little things you can get. Now, when you make your character, you might find that one of these tabs has got a little blue tag next to it, okay? And if it does, click on that, and there's something you can choose. It might be that you can choose a skill or a language, okay? So keep that in mind. If you see a little blue tag here, you've got something you can pick for your character. All right. Now, if you make a mistake, you can just click here, change race, and you can change to whichever one you want, okay? So let's go next. Now, I rolled for a wizard, okay? It works very similar here. It'll pop up and it will give you an idea of all the different things that class can use. All right. Add class. Now, this is what I mean. There's a little blue tag. I can choose proficiencies. In this game, we have all different skills, and depending on what your class is proficient, meaning that they've been trained in it, different types of skills. So because he's a wizard, I'm going to go with Arcana, which is all about magic. And I'm going to go with history because he loves reading books and I'm a history teacher. Now this will tell me that I can do spellcasting, and it will also tell me about arcane recovery, which is another ability that the level 1 wizard gets. Okay. And I'm going to click next. All right. Now, ability scores. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. These are the numbers, I suppose, okay, that dictate what your character is like and what they're good at and what they're not so good at. All right. In the random table generator that I gave you last episode, I've put in suggestions for which classes should have high stats in which abilities. Okay. We're going to do standard array. You can do different types, but standard array is the easiest way for us to go forward. Okay. So my character is a wizard. Wizards need high intelligence. Okay. Wizards also aren't very tough. Okay. So I'm going to do my next highest in constitution. Okay. And then I'm going to do now from here, it's however you want your character to work. All right. Now, I don't want my character to be strong. So I'm going to make it 8. That's going to be my lowest stat. All right. And I don't really mind if they're not very charismatic, if they're not very good at talking to people. So I'm going to make that 10. Wisdom, I think I'm going to go with a 12 for wisdom. He's rather wise. Okay. He's a little worldly. He's been out in the world a bit. And dexterity. He might be a bit of a bookish person, but he likes to move his body and make sure that he's fit. All right. Now, description. This is where we get our background. You would have rolled for a background with your last, in the last episode. So I think I'm trying to remember. What did I do? I got a noble. So my character is going to get a noble. Now, there's heaps of stuff here that you can read, and we're going to look at this stuff in the next episode when we start fleshing out our character's backstory, okay? But again, we'll have some options here. Yours might be different, okay? I'm going to choose... I wonder what he's going to be good at. I think he's going to be good at investigation. And then tools. You can get... He's proficient in dragon chess. That sounds cool. And then I know another language as well. Now I'm going to pick... Draconic. It's the language of the dragons and the Dragonborn. You'll see here that there is a background feature. Every background has its own little feature. Make sure you check that out. Okay. Now, down here we have more character details. Now, all this stuff is bonus, all right? And I'm not going to go through all of that this episode, because it doesn't really impact our character sheet at the end. But if you want to open these up and have a look at these different personality traits and ideals, these are all things that can help bring your character to life. If you went through and did some of the other tables on our little random tables, and you have hair color and eye color and height and their size, you can put that stuff in there, okay? And from there, we're going to move across to equipment. Now, you get the option of either choosing the starting equipment or buying it, or getting an amount of gold and buying equipment that way. It's much easier just to go with the starting equipment because it's all stuff that actually suits your character. Okay, so you'll get options just like this with your character. I'm going to take a quarterstaff, which is like a wooden stick that can be used for fighting. I'm going to have an arcane focus. So these two things here, if you're making a spellcaster, an arcane focus is an object you use to help cast your spells. I'm going to have a crystal. And a component pouch is all the little ingredients that you might have found that help you cast your spells. Okay? It's up to you which one you want to pick. And then you'll have an option of a pack. And I'm going to go with an explorer's pack. And it tells me all the different stuff that I get in there. I get a backpack, a bedroll, tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days rations, and a water skin. I've also got 50 feet of rope. Now, oh, wrong one. If you click on that one, it'll tell you what you got there. So a scholar's pack includes a backpack, a book of lore, a bottle of ink, an ink pen, 10 sheets of parchment, a little bag of sand, and a small knife. It's all stuff that the scholar can use to write with, okay? But I'm going to go with the explorer's pack. And because I'm a wizard, I get a spell book. Now, if you're doing the equipment method, make sure at the end of this you click Add Starting Equipment. Okay, that's added all that stuff to my inventory. And then I can see them all here. This is my inventory, all the stuff that I own. Some of the stuff that you might have in your backpack or your inventory will have this little thing that says wield or wear, okay? Wield means that I'm going to equip that and it's going to be in my hand so I can use it when I play. Next, what's next? I want to view my character sheet. Okay, so here is the character sheet. This is what the DnD Beyond character sheet looks like. In a moment, I'm going to show you what it looks like on a PDF because that's probably the most common way people use it. Now, there's lots of information in here. Okay, look at all this information. You'll see that there's lots of numbers that have pluses and minuses too. What we do with those numbers is when we roll a dice, we either add that number to it, if we're doing something with dexterity, or we minus. Say if I was doing something with strength, I would have a -1 to my roll. But we'll get to that later when we talk about rules. I just want to show you how the spells work because they can be a little bit confusing, okay? And they're not automatically added to your character, okay? You've got to add them into your character sheet. So I'm going to go to spells here, and up you'll see a little thing here that says manage spells. I'm going to click on manage spells, and I'm going to add a bunch of spells, all right? Cantrips are things that I can use all the time, all right? They don't use any of my magic up. So I'm going to make... He's going to be able to do a firebolt, and he's going to have a mage hand, and he's going to be able to make... He's going to have prestidigitation. It's a very big word. It's basically magic tricks. All right, and then I can learn some first level spells, and I'm going to do absorb elements. What you'll notice is little arrows. You can click down and have a read of what they do. I'm going to have fog cloud and ice knife and identify and mage armor. Depending on your character, you might be only able to pick a certain amount, okay? But it just depends on what character you have. Alrighty, so I am going to then go to my prepared spells in my spell book, and I'm going to prepare that one and that one and that one and that one. And now I've got some spells in my spell book. All right. That is how we quickly come up with a character. Now we're not playing yet. We're just building our backstory. And the reason why I wanted to show you how this worked is A, to get you familiar with it, and then also so you can get a standard PDF of your character sheet, which will eventually load for us to look at. Here it is. All right. Now you might want to print this out or you can just leave it up here. But this is what we're going to use to help us make our backstory. Okay. Because we're going to sift through this and see what information we can find. All right. So tune in to the next episode where we start fleshing out our backstory. One more thing. If you've got to the end of this and you're confused and you're like, oh, I got lost when I was making those characters, I'll show you something else you can do. You can go to my character and create character. We're going to do a quick build and we're going to choose their race and we're going to go with I'm going to have remember basic rules. I'm going to have a human. All right, and then I'm going to pick a class. He's going to be a paladin, and then I'm going to give him a name. This is Steve, the human paladin, and create character. And again, D&D Beyond creates the character sheet for you, and you can jump straight into it. So you can play around with this and see what it comes up with, see what you're interested in. See, this guy's got a javelin and a long sword. What equipment does he got? He's wearing chainmail. He's got a really high armor class. He's a pretty cool character. So play around with this. Get yourself either one character or a couple of characters. In our next episode, we're going to do some backstory writing, okay? Or at least some backstory ideas. Okay, stay safe, guys. Take care.